I knew they could be convinced. Like I had them, like I needed to tip it. So I told one more joke and they were like, okay, we'll see you tonight.
The moment that really set your career in motion, the Last Comic Standing audition.
Yeah, I did Last Comic Standing my senior year of college. I'd been doing stand-up for about a year and a half, like seriously. My friends in Kansas City were all getting together, a group of guys, to go drive to Chicago to audition. And we loaded up this van and we drove to Chicago. And I was not gonna audition, I was just going along for the ride because I just didn't wanna be a fraud. I wasn't ready for this. But we get there and they're like, just audition and like have a different goal. Like your goal isn't to win the show, your goal is to have them say, good job. So I auditioned and I got through the first round and I go on stage. There's just two guys, the bookers for the Tonight Show, were the judges, and they're just in this empty comedy club during the day. It's so awkward, and you just go up there and you tell some jokes, and I did. And they were like, all right, pretty good, Nikki. So how long have you been doing this? And I think I said 2 years. I lied because it wasn't that. They would go, well, it's you're a little too new or young for this. And I was just like, you're like, but you're good. And I was like, okay, thanks. And they're like, but it's too soon. And I go, okay, thanks. And I was like, great, that's all I wanted, like they're right. So I walked off stage and then I heard one of them go, I really liked her. And then the other one goes, I mean, I could be convinced. And it was just to themselves, and I just went back, I was off the stairs and I just went back up on the stairs and grabbed the mic and I go, you wanna hear another joke? And they were like, yeah, and I knew they could be convinced. Like I had them, I needed to tip it. So I told one more joke, which they aired a different joke for the joke that I told. The joke was I was dating this black guy once and we broke up because he hit me. And it wasn't his fault, I just didn't understand his complicated handshake. So that was the joke, and they were like, okay, we'll see you tonight.
She called us up and told us she passed through, and we were just hooting and hollering and just freaking out because it was a long shot.
And I'm like, I'm going to Hollywood, and then went to the semifinals, and I was still in college, and I flew out there and got eliminated right away, but I still got to perform in like this big theater.
The fact that she didn't take no for an answer and just asked to have another chance. So I still get teary-eyed thinking about it. And so I knew at that point that she had this amazing will to succeed.
He's so proud of that moment, and my dad does think that I started that trend that you now see in American Idol and The Voice, all these things where they're like, can I do one more song? These moments, and then they do it and they're like, okay, you're going to Hollywood.
So I was really proud of her. Being in sales and marketing, you got to make the second effort. In sports and sales, you can't just walk away. So I was totally proud that she did that, and that just really showed me her fortitude and her spirit.
I still watch that sometimes and I go, who does this girl think she is? Like, there are moments like that click in for me where I do have that confidence. It's a lot like jumping into a cold pool or like ripping off a Band-Aid. There's nothing I could have planned for. It's just an impulse that occurs to me, and I just either grab it or I don't. And all the times I don't, I always regret. And then some of the times I do, I deeply regret as well.